I think other sports just kind of have these proper steps and procedures, and they standardize things, in regards to like where you should be. It's like, like if you took a boxing class and you're like, oh, this is great cardio and I'm learning some cool things. It would not make sense for you. Like in 4 months, it's like, okay, we're going to throw you in the ring with some other dude. But with boxing, it's so obvious, right? Or
Yep.
mixed martial arts or whatever. It's like you look at boxing. It's like, all right, first you're gonna have headgear, and you'll be very like it's gonna be like 2 rounds, and it'll be super supervised, and this guy sucks too, and it's like gradual, but like with like physique athletes and like especially sometimes if you have a very effective coach that can get you like in tremendous shape like your first go around, it's like, man, that's probably like the worst thing for you. Like you don't realize it, but that's like you just got in there with a very experienced boxer, no gear, and y'all went the full 12 rounds, and now you're pretty fucked up, man.
Yeah.
To keep with the boxing analogy, so you assume some risks when you do boxing. Like, let's say you do go through that process and you hire a boxing coach 2 years out and you do it right, and you've got a match in 2 years and you go do like a local amateur fight. You might get a concussion. You might get a broken nose. You might get a really serious injury or something like that. But that is a low probability, right? That's not supposed to happen. It can happen in the course of getting knocked down 3 times or knocked out. But you also might win, right? You might find out you're a good boxer.
And those things heal for the most part, usually. Like it happens in 1 second and then it only gets better from there. Versus, go ahead.
Yeah. So, so you can't guarantee a win. And, the most likely outcome for a boxer is, for especially a first timer, is maybe you don't win and you get like, a black eye. That's probably like something in that equivalent is in the largest distribution of potential outcomes probabilistically. For a bodybuilder, you're probably not going to win as well. But the only thing I can guarantee is that some point 8 weeks after your show, you're going to be wondering why you can't stop eating pie. That's kind of like I guarantee if you lose 10 to 15% of your body weight, that you will regain 10 to 20% of your body weight within about half the time you took it off. That's the only guarantee I know if someone says, I'm going to do a bodybuilding show for the first time. And
it's not
more.
the pie that's the worst part. It's the way you feel about yourself.
Yeah, eating pie is fine. It's the fact that you ate pie until you wanted to throw up and you hated yourself and you feel like I was so disciplined and now I don't even deserve to call myself a bodybuilder. Yeah.
And it's so many little things that they're just not obvious. It's like you're going to lose a little of your hard-earned muscle. Like that's just going to happen. Guess what? Your hormones are freaking powerful things. Those are going to be so messed up. You have no idea what you're in for. It's a combination of like little hidden small print that it's like, yeah, so-and-so looks fantastic on their Instagram, but also they're most likely going through this or they have gone through it in the past, and obviously this person decided this was for them. This might not even be for you. Like you might be able to get 90% of that without like all those other things that come with it. It's just bodybuilding is so deceptive in regards to how it wears you down. I mean, you get knocked out, it's so easy. It's so obvious. It's like, yeah, that's it. Ref's like, you're done.
The ongoing yo-yo of that whole thing. It's that you
it
get
can
to where
last
Eric
beyond
says,
the
and then
goal,
you're like,
yeah.
I need to fix this. And then you're like, no, it's fine. I just care about getting bigger. And then you look in the mirror and you're like, fuck, no, I really need to fix it. And it's like this whole thing every few months that I know I had an issue with, where I'm like mentally, okay, it's off season. I need to gain weight. And I'm like, but I think I look like shit because 6 months ago I didn't look like this. And like, I don't even look like I lift. And like, how am I supposed to put something on Instagram now because I'm on Instagram as a figure athlete? And so like, who am I? I do need to diet. And then I have a call with Berto and he's like, nah, come on, we know what we're doing here. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And then I look in the mirror or I take an Instagram photo and I'm like, oh my God, who is this? What is happening? And it's, it keeps going till you, unfortunately, for most people, look how you don't want to look for a long amount of time. And that's, unfortunately, you think like, oh, can you handle dieting? And it's not that. It's like, can you handle what happens after you diet? Because prep's the fun part if you love bodybuilding. I don't know. Like prep was the fun, like when you're seeing things happen, you're making progress. And what sucks is off-season progress for a real physique athlete, real bodybuilder doesn't look like progress to uneducated people. And unfortunately, most of the world, including everyone on the internet, is uneducated. So like you could be having the best off season ever, setting yourself up for the best season ever in 2 years. But you, in the mirror, your friends or whatever, think you look shittier, and you have to have the grit and understanding of what you're doing and stand by you. And I'd argue that I wasn't strong enough for that. But the prep, I can starve all day for whatever fucking
the body
reason.
dysmorphia is it's real, and like it never goes away. You just kind of learn to I guess isolate it to that specific task.
Yes,
but it's always going to be, there's always going to be something not good enough about your body if you really, this is just something you want to do for an extended period of time.